In 2010, a case out of Texas shocked investigators. A woman was charged with murder. Even though there was no body, no weapon, no witnesses, and no proof of crime even happened. But this isn't that case. This is worse. Because this one started with something so small, so ordinary, a waitress humiliating an old man during a lunch rush. And 3 days later, someone would vanish. Someone would die. And the truth? It would break the town in half. Let's begin. It happened on a Thursday afternoon at Red Lantern Diner, a place known for cheap coffee, loud customers, and a waitress named Melissa Crane, famous for her attitude. That's when he walked in. An old man, shaky hands, clothes wrinkled and dusty, face tired like someone who hadn't slept in days. He took a seat in Melissa's section, and instantly she rolled her eyes. "Sir, you can't just sit here," she snapped. "This area is for paying customers." The old man looked up slowly. I'm just waiting to order." Melissa laughed, loud, enough for other tables to hear. "Order? Sir, look at yourself. You can't afford this place." People stared. Some whispered. One customer took out their phone. But the old man didn't fight, didn't raise his voice. He simply stood up and walked out the door. Everyone thought that was the end of it. They were wrong. 3 days later, the diner opened as usual, but something was off. Police cars lined the street. Crime scene tape wrapped around the back entrance. Officers moved in and out, whispering, taking pictures. By noon, the rumor spread Melissa was missing, and the last person seen talking to her was the old man she humiliated. But here's where things get strange. No one remembered him leaving through the doors. He vanished as quickly as he appeared. Even stranger, no camera ever caught him entering the diner in the first place. The footage showed every customer who walked in that day except him, as if he didn't exist. Police started digging into Melissa's life. What they found didn't make sense. 1, Melissa's apartment was untouched. No signs of struggle. No forced entry. 2, her phone pinged from 3 different locations within minutes. Impossible for one person to travel that fast. 3, a note was found on her counter. For words, written in shaky handwriting, "He's not who you think." But here's the part investigators still refuse to publicly discuss. 4, her car was found 2 towns away, parked in front of a massive abandoned mansion. And according to documents, ownership of that property belonged to Theodore Lawrence Thompson, the same name the diner manager recalled the old man giving moments before he disappeared, a name no one had heard before in that town. But when detectives searched national databases, they found 17 different Thompsons, all with the same first and middle name, all born in the same year, all dead. For decades, police eventually gained access to the abandoned mansion. Dust everywhere, furniture draped in cloth, windows cracked, basement locked with a rusted padlock. But inside the living room, on a table covered in dust, sat a single object, a printed receipt from Red Lantern Diner, dated 3 days before Melissa vanished. But the creepier part, under the receipt was a folder. Inside were photographs, hundreds of them, all of Melissa, taken over years, different jobs, different houses, different cities. She was being watched long before she humiliated the old man. And on the final page of the folder was a handwritten message. She failed the test. Investigators still don't know what test he meant, or how long he had been following her, or why she was chosen. But here's where the story turns even darker. Inside the mansion basement, behind a hidden panel of rotting wood, police found a room, a chair in the center, a camera on a tripod, chains bolted into the floor. But no Melissa, just a note taped to the chair. And this note changes everything. The note simply said, "Check the restaurant." Detectives rushed back to the diner. Employees stood outside. Customers crowded the sidewalk. Everyone watched as officers tore through the building. And then someone screamed. Inside the freezer room, behind crates of frozen vegetables, police found a second door. A door no one remembered being there before. It was new, shiny metal, bolted, locked. They forced it open. And inside a staircase, leading down, deep underground. The air was cold, wet, silent. At the bottom of the stairs was a long corridor, and at the end of that corridor a room. Lights still on, a chair in the center, a camera, a microphone, and another note. This one was written in thick black marker. Part 2 begins here. As for the old man, he hasn't been seen since. Not in Texas. Not in any state. Not in any database. It's as if he appeared out of nowhere and vanished the same way. But investigators believe one thing. He's not finished. They say karma moves slow. But in this town it sprinted. The day after the poor old man revealed he was a new owner, Silver Grill exploded with gossip. Everyone wanted the same thing. Tea, drama, payback, and Marla the waitress who humiliated him was shaking. She avoided his eyes. She took smaller steps. She didn't shout orders anymore. But the old man, Mr. Lawson, barely reacted. No yelling, no revenge, nothing, which scared people even more. Because silence from a powerful man, that's never a good sign. Marla tried to act normal, but weird things kept happening. First, her schedule disappeared from the system. Then her paycheck got held for review. And suddenly, her password for the employee portal didn't work anymore. One by one, the staff whispered, "Yeah, he's gonna fire her." She brought on herself. She shouldn't have talked to him like that. But something deeper was happening. Something darker. One night, after closing, Marla finally broke. She marched into his office. "Just tell me, are you trying to get rid of me?" Mr. Lawson didn't look up from the papers he was reviewing. "Why would I do that?" His voice was calm. Too calm. Marla swallowed. "Because I embarrassed you." He set his pen down. Slowly. Deliberately. Like a man preparing a final blow. "What you don't understand," he said, "is that this isn't about embarrassment." Marla's stomach dropped. "Then what is it about?" Lawson turned the document around so she could see it. An official letter. Law firm header. Filed that same morning. Marla's eyes widened. It was her name. Her signature. And a contract she swore she had never seen in her life. A contract stating she owed the restaurant $42,000 for damages, misconduct, and unauthorized use of company resources. Marla's voice cracked. "This isn't real. I never signed this." Lawson leaned back, eyes cold, expression blank. "Yes, Marla, you did." She shook her head violently. "No, and oh, this is a setup." Then he said it, softly, like a whisper crawling across the room. "You should have treated me with respect." Marla froze, because suddenly she remembered something, a rumor, something she always thought was just small-town myth. That Mr. Lawson wasn't just wealthy. He wasn't just the new owner. He had connections, real connections to people who made problems disappear. Employees, businesses, even entire families. And if that was true, her fate was already sealed. Marla backed away slowly, heart pounding, chest tight, but then it got worse. As she opened the office door, she saw them, 2 men, in black jackets, standing in the hallway, waiting for her. Marla turned back to Lawson, voice barely a whisper. What do you want from me?" He smiled, a tiny story smile, a terrifying smile. "Part of your past has caught up with you, Marla. Something you thought was buried." She shook her head. "What are you talking about?" Lawson slid a folder across the desk. "This." She reached for it with trembling hands, opened it, and what she saw inside made her knees buckle. A photograph, a date, a police report with her name listed under primary suspect. Her voice broke. "H, how did you get this?" Mr. Lawson stood up. "Because, Marla, I was the one who reopened the investigation." She gasped, hands covering her mouth, tears forming. Why would you do this to me?" Lawson stepped closer. "Because the day you humiliated me was the day I recognized you." Marla stumbled backward. Recognize her? From where? From what? Before she could speak, before she could breathe, a man in the hallway stepped forward, and Lawson whispered the words that shattered her world. "I know what you did." Marla's scream caught in her throat. If you want part 2, comment continue the investigation, or give me part 2.